JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius from Anucauskas. Today's the 26th of February 2020, so yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But as always, before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, before we jump in, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right here on the top. Now then, let's jump into the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on here is the Footsie 100. I talked about this one yesterday, so basically we did get a bit of a correction, which we were expecting, and yep, the indices continued to slide yesterday, as you know. So we saw a heavy, well, the sea of red basically across the major indices. Yep, looking at this picture again here on the Footsie 100, what I was talking about was that our main target is going to be this lowest point of October near the psychological 7,000 zone. So as you can see, the index drifted lower and kind of got held by this area. Looking at the cash index right now, we can see that the price is already below this psychological 7,000 mark, and just slightly, not much, but nevertheless it is already below it. So in a way, we can start considering maybe further declines. The only thing is, of course, don't get me wrong, given that we already had a steep sharp down move here, there could be a possibility maybe for a small correction, maybe a move back towards the psychological 7,000 zone to test it from underneath. If it continues to hold, then yes, another slide is possible, and then we will aim for another area here. And let me just quickly mark this one on the chart. So of course, one of the good ones to watch here is around here, around this 6,743 territory. But of course, don't get me wrong, there are slightly higher levels here to consider, and one of which is around the 6,858 zone here. As you can see, that marks the high of the 24th of January and a high of the an intraday swing high of the 29th of January. So something to keep an eye on, guys, for yourselves. For now, yes. This is not looking good for the indices, but don't get me wrong, we may get a bit of a correction first, maybe a push towards that psychological 7,000 zone, and then yes, we'll take it from there, guys. The DAX, so the German index here. So I talked about this one in the beginning of this week, and basically what I was saying, that if this medium-term upside line breaks, and the next target for us to consider is around here, around this territory near the 12,900 zone. So and as you can see, the 12,886 zone got broken, and the index continued and the index kind of closed below this. So in a way, looking at the cash index right now, we can see that the price is currently balancing near the 12,680 zone, so roughly basically around here, guys, just slightly below below where it closed yesterday. So in a way, long story short, our next target to consider is around here, around this 12,605 territory. We'll see how it performs around here, and it may rebound maybe a little bit here, and don't get me wrong, it may rebound before traveling here. So yep, for now we're going to consider this territory here as a good area of potential resistance near the 12,950 zone, and then yep, if it stays below this highlighted area here, then yes, we will aim for another round of selling, to maybe even targeting this 12,605 territory. In terms of the upside, we need to see this one pushing back above this medium-term upside line before we could consider higher levels. DXY, very quickly on this. So I talked about DXY yesterday, and basically I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this downside line taken from the high of the 20th of February, and given that we were still balancing above this 99.24 zone, I was also telling you to keep an eye on this one, because if we get a strong drop below this, then yes, this could lead towards further decline. So in other words, from the very short-term perspective, as long as it remains below this downside line, we will continue aiming to the downside here. But let's not forget that the downside eventually might get limited near this upside support line taken from the low, the 31st of December. WTI oil. Now, very quickly on this, in the beginning of this week, I spoke about this one, and we were trading below this key area of resistance near the 52.15 mark. But I was saying that in order for us to start considering higher levels, we need to see a push back above this 52.15, but ideally we would prefer to see a push above the 54.35 level, as you can see, which held the price fantastically. Now the price is drifting towards this key area of support near the 49.30 zone, which is the lowest point, the current lowest point of February. Let's see if it can hold or not, because if it fails to do so, then we could get another low for February if the break happens this week. But again, like I said, if we do see a drop below this, then yes, this would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and we could see this one drifting further south. Bitcoin Cash now. Bitcoin Cash here, I talked about this one yesterday, and basically I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this 363, 354 territory, which if it gets broken, then yep, it could open the path towards lower levels. It did drop below this, and as you can see, it continues to slide. So for now, our target is around the psychological 300 zone. So let's see how this is going to play out around here for us to consider the upside here. Again, we would like to see a push above the 409 zone before considering higher levels. NZDJPY, very quickly on this. So yesterday as well, this is a quick update on what happened yesterday, and basically what I was talking about yesterday. In order for us to consider further declines, we needed a drop below the 69.92 zone. So we got that. So now the next target for us is around the 69.25 level and the 68.85 zone. So we'll keep an eye on those. For now, everything is kind of leaning more towards the downside, especially if the rate continues to balance below this 69.92 zone. So let's keep an eye on this one. In terms of the upside, we need to see a push back above the 70.53 territory before considering higher levels. GBPNZD, now very quickly on this, so it pushed above the highest point of 2019, so that's wonderful, but you can see that it's now kind of oscillating around this level, although we did get a push above this 2.0559 territory. But as you can see now, the pair is kind of oscillating near this 2.0559. In a way, given that it already had a decent push higher, we may get a bit of correction here to the downside, and then yes, aim for slightly lower levels. And finally, EURUSD. So quick update on this. So we did get a push above this 1.0878, but as you can see, it kind of drifted back down a little bit, got held by this 100 EMA here on the 4-hour chart. So in a way, still kind of we're leaning more towards a larger correction here, given that we managed to push above this 1.0878 zone. This kind of increases the chances of a potential move higher here, and yep, we could see maybe a push towards this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 31st of December. So for now, guys, keep your eyes on this one. For us to consider the downside, well, ideally we would like to see a drop below this 1.0777 before kind of aiming for lower levels. So guys, I hope you found this useful. This is a quick overview of these instruments. So if you want to join me later on at my Traders Tea Time, 14:15 GMT, guys, for now, we hope you have a beautiful trading day, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.